help them, to be effective, or rather to be sure of the things that comes natural to them. In that way, they will be more effective, citizen members and people people that will be, influential with their gifts.
That's good and noble. And I think since the book came out, what has been the reaction? What have you kind of received from the parents? How are the people taking it out there, that message, that we have to actually dig in and find these talents in ourselves before we get frustrated at the end of the day?
Look, I think that the reception has been positive. Parents, they are also realizing that even themselves as parents, a majority of them, they do not know their own talents, and they can see, that the consequences of them as others not knowing what comes natural to them. To say, at this point, they find themselves, doing things that they don't enjoy. They find themselves, in careers that does not fulfill them, simply because whatever that they are doing on a natural basis has nothing to do with what comes natural to them. And as a result, then they need to, eliminate that from passing on to their children. And because of that, they are receiving the message positively, and they are taking initiatives to ensure that their children become better people through the use of their gifts. So it's a message that has been well received, even online and so on. Yeah.
Glad to hear that, man. And I think for me, I see you quite passionate about the thing. Does it have a personal thing, a personal inspiration into the story? That kind of makes it so much of a personal issue for you.
It does. I think personally, I'm multi-talented, as you have said in the beginning. To say I'm wearing many hats, and I try by all means to wear these hats. And I still believe that there's some hats that I haven't worn yet. You mentioned that I sing. A lot of people, they don't know that I sing, but I am working on a song that I'm going to record soon, because it's another gift that I have, that I haven't shared with people. And I just believe that every gift that God has given me, it is not just for me to have and to know that I have it, but every gift that God has given me, He has given me so that I can share it with people. That's how it can then be a blessing to other people. So sure. God give us gifts and talents for the benefit of others. And while we serve people with our gifts and talents, for some reason, that also, benefits us in one way or the other. So yes, talented has a very deep connection with me, who I am, the importance of discovering it and developing it and effectively, use it.
That's good. And I think you mentioned earlier that there's some parents who don't even know what their talent is in this day and age. How do we rectify that? Before we talk about the kids, which I think a lot of people logged in to hear how they can assist their children, how can we assist ourselves as adults if we don't actually know what it is that our talent is in this day and age? How do we rectify that?
I think, the first thing as a parent is to come to a point of where you need to realize that you need to be aware of yourself. Self-awareness, it's not a one-day thing. It's a journey where you can come to a point to say, I know who I am. And when you know who you are, you also know, what you can do. You know where you're going. And when you know where you're going, you become aware of the things that will not take you there. You become aware of certain people and practices that will not take you to your destiny. So we cannot assume that simply because you're an adult, you are aware of yourself. There are so many adults that cannot confidently say, I know who I am, Yeah. So the first advice will be, as a parent, be intentional about knowing who you are. Be intentional about discovering yourself. Be intentional about knowing the things, the gifts and the abilities that God has given you. I tell you now, there are a lot of adults that does not know what abilities did God give them, right? They don't know. They know that there is a God. They know that they are talented. They see people that are talented, but they never take it back to themselves to say, what is it that God has given you? What natural ability that I have? What is it that I can do better than others with less effort? Because
Sure.
that's the advantage that God has given each and every one of us, even in our old age. Well, old age in inverted commas. We're not that old. But even at your age, there is something that you can do better than others. And you need to find that thing, because once you find it, regardless of you can run faster than people that have already started running a long time ago.
All right, that's powerful. I think if we're listening in and we know that we are still to discover our talents, this is some good advice we need to take for ourselves. But I think for our children now, let's turn the focus a bit and attention to our children. I think a lot of people actually joined in for that. How do we, as parents, with children ranging from age 0 to 1 month, perhaps, right up until the age of 13, 14, how do we identify, the talents in our kids, and how do we nurture that to make sure that they actually become the best of what they were created to be?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we need to do is just to understand the age of the child, because what you will do on a child that is 1 year old is different from what you will do, to a child that is 10 years old, because the development, or because of the development stages that, that both children have. So understanding the age of your child is very important. But what is it that you as a parent can do? Number one, you need to observe. That is why it is important that parents need to be present. Because if we're a parent and you are not present in your child's life, there are a lot of things that you will not be able to see, right? So you need to observe your child, observe the things that interest your child, observe the toys that your child love. You can give your child as many toys as possible, but there will always be 1 or 2 toys that your child will prefer. Now, if you are a parent that is observant, you'll realize that, okay, my child loves such toys, and you'll be able then to interpret that as an interest. Because, and if that happens automatically, understand as well that a talent is a natural thing. It's not something that you have to push and inject it into a child. It has a way of emerging. It has a way of showing itself off. So number one, as a parent, you just need to observe the things that your child, enjoy. And again, if your child go to school, have a conversation with the teachers. Ask the teachers, what is it that you think my child is naturally good at? Because those are the people that also spend time with your child, during school hours. So have that conversation. What is it that you think my child is good at? And then make note of that. If you have a nanny, whether it's a full-time stay-in nanny or it's a nanny that comes and goes, also have a conversation with a nanny. What is it that you think my child is good at? I mean, for example, in my side, there are a lot of things that I discovered about my children from the nanny. One of the things that I discovered is that my second born is left-handed. I discovered that late. I admit, I discovered that late. My nanny discovered that before. Why? Because she was paying more attention to my child than my son. By the time I was surprised that he's left-handed, it was not a surprise to my nanny. And those are the things that we as parents, we need to be intentional about, because once you discover those things, then you begin then to know what is it that you need to do as a parent to support the natural ability that your child have. Right. So those are the things that we need to do. And again, as I'm saying, it depends on the age. But now if the child is at school, then you need to then start observing a subject of interest. Which subjects is the child passing better than the other? Is it mathematics? Is it what? Is it the economics? Whatever. You need to start observing that, because the subject that the child is passing better, it means the understanding of that particular subject, it comes natural, to your child. And that also then, as a parent, can tell you about the type of a person your child is. Some children, they love books. Some children, they love artistic things. pay attention. One of my child, she loves books. Even if I'm studying, she will come in and try to study with me what I'm studying. The other one, he doesn't love books, but give him an instrument anytime. You can leave him in a room all by himself with any musical instrument. You have sorted him out. You have sorted him out. So those are the things that we need to do as well. It's mainly observing, engage people that also spend time, with your children, and also observe the programs, TV programs that your child loves, the characters on TV or programs that your child loves to associate with. All those things will give you clues about what comes natural to your child.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work to do, I suppose, for us parents. It basically means we should do our jobs, in other words. And I think that the other thing I'd like to then ask in this regard, for us pretty much who grew up not so very recently, I think you can see the white beards that, I'm not really a yesterday child, but it kind of says, I grew up in a time where, you kind of have to just concentrate on your school or else you're going to get the belt. So whether you're good at soccer, whether you're good at chess, whether you're good at tennis, yay, and focus on your books so you can actually become a better person yourself. Now, a lot of us, I think, in this generation come from that kind of mindset. How do we practically, because what you're saying is the ideal, but I'm just trying to put it now to the practicalities of us as Africans, if I can put it like that. How do we move away from that kind of concentrate on the Bukafela mindset so people can actually benefit and potentially even have careers in where their talent lies?
Yeah, I think as parents, there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do and relearning that we need to do. We need to understand as well that things are changing. Like for example, right now we having this session. Back in the days, you will have to gather people in one room. People will have to drive to attend a session. So that we can have something like this or this talk of this nature. But today, wherever you are, I'm sure even on this session, we've got people not only in Gauteng, even though you and me, we're based in Gauteng, but I'm sure there are people outside Gauteng that are part of this session right now. So that's what I'm saying. It's very important that as parents, we allow ourselves to unlearn certain things and relearn certain things, so that then we can understand that whatever that God has given your child, it is relevant. But again, what is important for us as parents is that we need to understand that a gift given your child, whether you like it or not, your child have that thing, and it becomes your responsibility as a parent, to unearth that gift, appreciate it, affirm it upon your child. Let your child know that I'm good at this and this and this and this and this. Because when you do that, you're building confidence in your child. And as your child grows, I can do better in that area. And then your child will be more able to, to focus on that. I mean, these days, we see young children, whether they are doing TV adverts or they are acting, it simply means that someone older saw a potential in that child and committed himself or herself to help that child to tap into his or her full potential. And that's what we need to do as children. These days, you can start a career as early as possible. I mean, there are children that are making money at a very early age, not because they are acting, but also, I'm making this an example, and it's not like every parent must adopt it. So just make an example. There are children that make money through advertising online. They create followership on social media, and a lot of people are following them, and people that are in the child space, they begin to sponsor those children or work with those children to advertise other kids' material. So at a very age, as long as you understand the potential that your child have, you can start then identifying platforms that will unearth the potential that your child has. But at the end of the day, in answering your question, we need to understand that a child can be talented in anything, and we don't have to wait until, you know, a child is old. So the sooner you understand, then you are able to guide your child even with studies. Instead of saying study that, where else the child is interested in that, you can then, you know, align your the studies, because education is very important. And I agree with parents if they say they must study. But again, we need to be careful right now to say a child must study something in line with his or her natural abilities. That is very important.
All right, I hear you, and I think you mentioned something interesting there about, you know, the almost the monetization of the gift at an early age. And I think looking at what has happened pretty much in the arts industry, you know, the acting and the singing, these kids that really come up early and they kind of make it big when they're young, don't really turn out okay in the end if we've kind of looked at the trends over the years. What's the danger, and how do we then try and balance that, them getting all the money from all the gifts that they have currently as young as they are, into them actually remaining as children at the current age in time, so that they don't end up, I don't want to mention names, but as those big artists who actually don't have some sort of character or end up acting like kids because they never really had a time to be a child, because their gift kind of overtook them and overtook their age.
Yeah, look, Ronald, it's a very good question that you're asking, and again, it goes back to us as parents. I think a talent needs to be managed. If you don't understand something, you will not know how to handle it. You know, if you have, let's say for example, you buy a cell phone, right? If you do not understand the capabilities that your cell phone have, you will not exercise the full potential of it. You just use it to just call and SMS and WhatsApp. You'll never get to enjoy all the features that comes with that. So a talent needs to be understood. And parents, they need to understand the magnitude and the power that it has, so that they can effectively manage the talents of their children. Now, they can do that in different ways, but I would recommend that as a parent, you need to be involved in the management of your talent. Should your child be exposed to the public and start making money at an early age, then you need to be involved in the management of your child. If you don't have the time and the capabilities, you can assign that to another person, but you must never be a parent that is clueless on what is happening, the ins and outs, you know, of your child. When your child get booked, whether to go paint or to go sing or to go recite a poem, you need to know. You need to know what is happening, how much they pay your child, and the best thing is to start, you know, opening an account for your child, so that that money goes in there from a money management point of view. But from a talent point of view, you need to equip yourself then as a parent. You know, you need to understand that, you know, initiators, they expose a talent. Accountability, it makes the talent to be strong. Your child needs to learn to be accountable. It cannot be a question of, you understand what I'm saying?
No, I hear you.
So it cannot be a question of.
No, continue. That's fine.
Yeah. So I was saying parents need to understand that, so that they can effectively manage the talent of their children. They can have someone to manage them, but they need to be there. They need to know that in relationships, they influence a talent, and teamwork, it also expands a child's talent. So that understanding of a talent and how it can be managed, and how to make sure that the talent does not hurt that child, it really becomes a responsibility of a parent. Because as you have said, there are people that we know, they are highly talented, but their talent has become a danger to themselves.
Yeah.
Their talent has put them into positions where they have suffered, even though they're talented. It's simply because they lacked someone to help them manage their talent. So maybe if I can summarize, as a parent, find a mentor, a trusted mentor for your child in that space, a person that will help and assess that person. But I would say, as a parent, look for someone that will mentor your child. so that the talent of your child can be well managed, and we can see the growth of your child, from age to age, and become the influential person that we want to see, in the community.
Right. I hear you. I think that there's two issues I just want to bring up. One that's related to what you've just said, and one that was actually going to be a follow-up question, and that's to bring into context our financial status as Black people, if I can put us as one homogeneous group. So I know, of course, there's some who are living in Sandton, some like yourself are living in nice fancy suburbs like Centurion and stuff, and we are, we are finding ourselves in Lokshini and Gwamshabuyalingana and wherever else. So we generally speaking don't afford, these fancy tennis rackets that the kids require. We can't afford, to take them to swimming lessons that I've kind of identified that there's a talent there. So the aspect then, firstly, how do we deal with the challenges of cash? Because we've identified the talent for sure, but generally we can't afford to support such a talent. What does it therefore mean? And secondly, also connected to that, we've kind of discovered the talent, and say, for example, the child has broken into the industry and is making some good money as a result of that. That then becomes something that even feeds and helps take care of the family. How do we then hold back on that child getting more gigs when we know that more gigs equals more cash equals, a better life for the family? Where do we balance? It's literally two questions that I'm giving you now. The first, of course, affordability and supporting the expensive stuff, and the other one, of course, being the child is bringing the money, it's helping in the family. How do we hold back to balance that thing that you're talking about, mentorship and making them be children for that time?
Yeah. So the first one, with regards to support, as a parent, you might not have the financial means, to support your child, but you need to look for institutes that can support your child. You'll find that in the community there is a club that focuses on particular activities. Maybe it's a swimming club. Then you need to find out if your child can be part of that. Explain. People love to help. Even though it's a business, but people love to help. I do business as well. I don't charge for everything. There are a lot of things that that I'm supposed to charge for, but I don't. Even with talent discovery, there are a lot of people that I help them to discover their talent for free. Not that it's a free service, but my point is that if you as a parent, you identify a potential in your child and you don't have means, to support that child financially, then look for institutes around you. If not around you, outside you, but look for institute that can then support your child. But never come to a point to say there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry, child. Don't be that kind of a parent. Just try by all means. Try by all means. And it goes back to what I said as well about finding a mentor for your child, because your child might be talented in singing, and you as a parent, you have no clue, and you are zero talented when it comes to music. Then you need to find a mentor, someone who is in music locally first, before you can go for someone that can, hold your child by the hand and show him or her about the ropes within music, not even in the music business, but just growing in music, singing and understanding music and all that. So that's what parents can do. But coming back to the second question, the child is talented, it's making money. Now you need to strike a balance, between overexposing your child and also the money that the child brings at home. Again, it goes to mentorship and management. As a parent, of course, you need to be, because let's say, for example, your child is good in this kwaito music. Now that kwaito music is normally out there, where people are having a lot of fun. And whether they are having fun with drinking or whatsoever, but it's kind of music that get people dancing, and chances are the bookings will always be around parties. Now you don't want your child to be overly exposed to that. So you really have to protect your child. That's why you have to be there. If there's a gig, then you know your gig is that time. You can go there and get your child to perform, and after that, take your child home, because you really don't want your child to skip stages of growth and start be thinking that I'm older, cannot associate with a certain group of people. You don't want that. So I think that's how you can balance it. Be there as a parent, take your child there, do whatever that you need to do, and then take the child back home, and always, mentor your child yourself as a parent. Speak sense to your child. Tell your child that you might be talented, but you're not better than others. Respect people. That comes from a parent, and that's what we need to drive in insurance life. But yes, we need to expose our children, and we need to identify other opportunities that will help the child to grow, not just because the child is bringing money, but because you also understand that this child could be the best in the world. And that's the understanding that as parents we must have. When we see a potential, it's not a local potential. When God gives a person a gift, it's a global potential. It's a gift that could be assumed or consumed by people all over the world. That's why even in South Africa, we watch movies that are not created in South Africa. We dance to music that is not created in South Africa, and vice versa. People outside South Africa, they're enjoying our content. And that is the power of a gift. When God gives you a gift, he is giving you a stage to the world to say, stand on this stage and let the whole world see you, or serve your gift to the whole world. That's the understanding that you must have, so that you can properly manage and help our children to be the best that God has created them to be.
I'm glad you put it like that, because my last question to you is actually about a world stage. I would love for you, Mr. Manqoba Mngomezulu, to imagine you had a stage where every parent in the world, every father, every mother could actually listen to your message right now. What is the one thing that you'd like to tell them regarding this issue that you're so passionate about, that they need to take care of and take advantage of?
Yeah, the message that I would love to give to parents, and yes, and probably myself as well as a parent, I always advise myself. So is that number one, understand and believe that your child is born with a natural ability. That is very important. If you look at your child, know that this is not just a baby, but there is more into this baby. This baby could be the future president. This baby could be a doctor or musician or actor or whatsoever. Whenever you see your child, see the world. See him or her, influencing the world. That's the first thing that we as a parent we need to see, and we need to believe in the gifts that our children have, even before your child can start showing signs of a particular potential. But just know that this child has something significant from God that he or she needs to serve to the world. And then number two, commit yourself to bring the best out of your child. You need to commit yourself that I will do everything that I can to bring the best out of this child, right? So that means you will do anything that you can, to provide good platform, good support that will ensure confidence in the child, such that your child will be able to stand and serve his or her gift with the greatest confidence, right? And then number three, as a parent, what you need to do as well, you need to invest in yourself. You need to equip yourself so that you can provide proper guidance, to your child. It's fine that you can rely on other people like myself, but after me and you had a session, or after you have even read my book or any other material out there, then you need to take that material, make sure that you understand it, so that even if other people and other resources are not there, you are able to provide the best support that you can provide to your child. So you need to equip yourself, and then let your child be the best that God has created him or her to be.
So you see now, me, I asked you to give us one thing when you are giving us a list of 7. You see when no, but thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the time. I see there's a number of questions coming up as well. There's someone who likes to know more about overexposing a child. Someone who wants to know how to get in touch. How do we get a hold of you, Mr. Manqoba? If somebody wants to continue this conversation with you, what are your details? What are your contact details so they can at least try and get a hold of you and continue this conversation offline?
Okay, so that is very simple. I think the first point of reference, it's our website, whatismytalent.co.za. People, they can go there, and then there's a form there that they can use to contact us. But if they want to email directly, then they can email info@whatismytalent.co.za. There's a Facebook page as well, What Is My Talent. There's Twitter handle as well at What Is My Talent. So if you just go on the internet and type What Is My Talent, you'll definitely get the information about us, or even me then. But they can also use a contact number, whether it's WhatsApp or call 0833 686 338. Then they can find out more about the programs, the books, and all the other materials that we have around discovering people's talent. Let me see the number there is 0833 686 338. It's 338 at the end.
All right, my bad.
On the number that you have just typed.
No, thank you very much, Manqoba. I think you better be on the lookout then, because people will really be getting in touch with you, trying to find out more information about this, and of course, potentially consult with you on how to help find those talents within their children. But I think it was good. We promised our people 30 minutes only, so they can at least watch Mvango, Generations, and all the other stuff on TV. But it's a pleasure having you, and I think potentially we might have to continue this conversation another time. But I think for the meantime, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, man. And I think you're doing a great job with these sessions. They are really empowering. So thank you very much for creating this session today. And thank you to everybody that joined in. I appreciate you all. I see a lot of my friends, the people that I know. I don't want to mention by name, but you know yourselves, right? Yeah. Thank you. Sharp, sharp.
All right, thank you. I think for everybody who's asking when we get these sessions, every Monday night, we have them 6 p.m., same time, 6:30. I'll send you more details about that. But a privilege and an honor to have you, Mr. Manqoba. And for everybody that was watching, thank you. It is good night.